All right. So, just in about 4 minutes, I will be going live with another near death interview. So, if you all have your own ayahuasca experience or near death or DMT, please feel free to shoot me an email at marcojwilliams91@gmail.com so we can set up an interview. I love doing these, and if I love talking to you all, I learn so much from you all. So, if you all have any information you would love to share with me or share with the world, I do try to do as many of these as weekly as I can. And I'm hoping that you all will be able to join. So, all right, let's see. Let's add. She'll be on in just a second. We had a little bit of technical difficulties with the last one, but without further ado, we correct that. Mute my phone, give her my undivided attention. No distractions. I'm telling you, these are amazing interviews. Like, I had so many notes from my last one, the couple who had the DMT trip together. And what was interesting about that particular interview, it was just supposed to be her husband who emailed me, but he reached out to me to include her. And I've actually learned a lot just from her experience. And I'll be sharing a mini 2-minute video on just the lesson from her DMT trip. I feel like everybody from these trips have some form of illumination that guides them to their purpose in life. So without further ado, let's get to this next near-death experience interview. Oh, by the way, she is in Geneva. So it's a time delay. I believe it is 4 o'clock her time and it's 10 o'clock my time. So if you notice me saying good morning, I mean good evening, because I know it's clear as day over here. It's evening her time. So let's get to it. Testing. Hello? Think her audio's connecting.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
How's it going?
Good, and you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here, happy to be talking to you. And once again, thank you for your time. I know it is a huge time delay. It's 10 a.m. my time and
4 p.m. here.
4 p.m. your time.
Yeah. Thank you. It's I'm very happy to do that.
This is an honor to be across the pond, like reaching out to somebody across the pond. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't know that I had friends and people in different countries, so I enjoy this type of connection.
Same here. It's thanks to Asma Inara.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had a lot of information to share, and I am glad that she connected me to you.
Yeah,
Because
me
she is,
too.
as I said, a gifted individual herself, and I know that I'm going to go back and look at her interview because I feel like I learn more every time I watch her interview. So I'm glad that that did happen because there's so many messages within just our conversation, and she led me to you. So
Same.
I'm curious to hear what you have to share. And I do not have my notebook actually, so stand by.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I didn't realize you weren't, my camera was not on, sorry.
Oh, I just thought you wanted to remain
No.
no problem. So without further ado, so can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Shireen, and I'm a healer, energetic healer now. And it's been since 2008 that my life shifted completely, because before that I was in private banking. And the reason Asma, I call her Asma, but it's her real name, but you know her under Inara. The reason she connected us is because I'm also a Reiki teacher, and I'm Egyptian originally. And I'm smiling because you have the two eyes behind you, and I have them on my, I don't know if you see it, but I have it on my.
You know what's weird? Something told me to just set up in this location. We're reorganizing some stuff over there, and I just felt the urge to set up and have the good energy, the
Of the two,
protection for the
yeah,
both two eyes. So
yeah. And
go
so,
ahead.
yes, all my life, I always said that the body talks, but I wasn't listening. I mean, for 25 years, I struggled with the anorexia, bulimia. Seriously, I ended up in hospital and everything, but I knew it was there to tell me something, but I was looking in the wrong place, I guess. I was trying to understand. And then in 2008, I had 3 operations and an internal hemorrhage the same year. And that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, your body's screaming. It's not just talking, it's really screaming. And I didn't have a near-death experience per se, in the sense that my heart didn't stop, and I didn't have that white tunnel with like they describe it in the books. But one thing that really happened then, after the internal hemorrhage, I woke up 3 days after the operation, and it was like as if I saw all my path, everything completely differently. It was I saw that I was more than a physical body. I always felt it, but I I couldn't put words on it. And I understood that what my body was trying to tell me is that I was so unaligned with who I really am. Like I got married very young. I have 2 children. I went into private banking because I live in Geneva and I speak those 3 languages, English, French, and Arabic. So I just followed a path that was like what I thought my parents, my family, people wanted me to do. I was a people pleaser. I'm still a people pleaser, but not at my expense anymore. And the thing that really came to my mind when after this operation is that enough saying yes to others and no to yourself. Just follow whatever you are meant to be. Follow your path, not you know what I mean. It was like as if I really understood that saying yes to other people will not bring me anything. Like as long as I had this war against myself all the time, thinking like I have to do this. All the time saying, if I don't do that, till this person will not be upset, I will not be good enough. And all these conditioning, all these beliefs were really like strangling me. And so you stop me, I talk, but if you want to enter.
No, I'm giving you the floor. This is your show,
Okay.
Like, okay. So
okay.
We'll ask a few things like once you come to a stopping point or whatnot, but I'm just letting you flow.
Okay. So 2008, I get out of the hospital, I get back in health, and somebody comes and proposed to me a Reiki session. I had no idea what Reiki was at the time. And I can't say that the actual session did anything, because it was a colleague of mine and she had done 2 degrees of 2 levels of Reiki, and she had her book she was opening next to her and started putting her hands on me. So I didn't feel really anything then. But when she started talking about the man who had trained her, initiated her to Reiki, this guy was on his deathbed and in the hospital, and he could not talk anymore. He was so sick, and he asked if somebody could bring him a Reiki masters to do. He had done 2 levels, and he wanted to do 2 levels more, and they did that. And at the time, this man was like you and me. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's something there. So I went on my computer, decided to go and do a first level of Reiki. And there I realized, I thought everybody was like me, that I see beyond the physical appearance of people. I feel the emotions, and I'm very empathetic. And I thought everybody was like this. I realized in that first level of Reiki that no, that not everybody was like this. And so I continued, not with this man, but I continued Reiki. And after the second level, I started saying that it's as if I took a Zoom and went, I started meeting myself, like I was doing this gesture. It's like as if there was a Zoom and I was starting to meet myself. I couldn't explain it at the time, but today—
like a outer body experience, or like a what am I trying to say? I feel like I'm picturing what you're saying, like where you meet your higher self in a way.
In a way, but I wouldn't have put these words then. It was more like as if I was starting to see the different layers of myself. Like I was starting to see myself differently, to get to know myself in a way. So, yeah. And like a few months later, so this was 2008, 2009, in June, one day I go to the office, and in half an hour, I typed on the computer. I didn't know how to do a resignation letter. So I typed on my computer, and I'm like, I want to resign. So I found a sample, I wrote it down, I signed it and resigned. And everybody thought I was crazy, me included, but it was like something bigger than me was pushing me. And it was not an easy path, but I don't regret 1 second. Because at that moment, then I didn't really know, I didn't dare say that I wanted to do energetic healing, because I thought like I had this feeling of imposter. Who am I to do this? And at the same time, I started painting, like the painting that's behind. That's a
beautiful painting, and I
Thank
see the
you.
sacred geometry, which is my favorite.
Yeah. I never took a painting lesson in my life, and I started painting, and I started understanding while painting that it was as if it's passing through me and is giving me a message. Like what I'm trying to say is that, for example, this painting behind me, when I get the name of the painting, I get the information that it's finished. And this painting is, I don't know why the name came in Latin, but it's like the visible comes from the invisible. When I got the name, I'm like, what? Looking like, what are you trying to say? And then it becomes clear. So I started understanding that there's a connection between my painting and the messages I'm giving, and following the reason why I'm here. I mean, my path. And so slowly but surely, in like 2009, it took me a bit to really settle in my healing practice and the painting, and sharing, because I share what everything I share, I experience it on myself. And I decided to say yes to whatever I need to follow. So, yeah.
Oh, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to add, like, is this, just for my better understanding, this is your very first painting? You had no painting experience, and this is just what flowed to you, correct?
Yeah, but the one behind me is not the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, no. There were other paintings, but I was taking this example in the sense that with this one, I realized that, because I used to get a name and names that didn't really make sense to me. It's not that I chose the name, it just would come. And that it's with this painting that I started understanding that, okay, because I always used to say it's something bigger than me. You ask me to do the same painting twice, it's impossible. I cannot do 2 paintings the same. And I have no idea, before, in front of my white, how do you call it? The canvas. In front of the white canvas, I have no idea what's going to come out. So it's really something that is going through me. And it helped me understand how we function, how, like how we're multidimensional beings, how there is a higher self that gives us, that leads us, and how the ego is important, because we can't live in this society without an ego, but it's a part of us. It's not the one that has to run everything. So it's the connection between the energetic healing and quantum and my art, that it started becoming clearer with every step.
I'm learning a lot, because
I'm happy.
I'm on this same journey with the following your passion, following your heart, making your soul happy. Because I feel as if when you follow what is guiding you, that's when the universe, God, or source, you are truly aligning. And I love how you have the painting, because I feel as if we are all meant to be creators. If we are made in the creator's image, we are meant to create.
Exactly.
And I notice, like, people with these illuminating moments, because like you like going back, you had this experience that like pushed your life, and you just like, I'm not living my life's purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And now you are aligning with your life's purpose, and that's when your soul is truthfully connecting back to source, back to who you are, like you said, going within. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just
no, but definitely. Yeah. No, it's exactly that. And what's interesting, what I find really interesting now in the times we're living now, is that it's as if life leads you to come to a certain point, and to where, like, every day everything is becoming clearer. What is really making sense to me now is my son. I have two children. My son is 30 now, and when he was born, 1 week after he was born, I got this voice that told me that he was born to teach me what unconditional love is. And when I heard that voice, I'm like, I was feeling so much love for their little baby, my first child. So I thought, yeah, this is unconditional love. I didn't understand then what it meant. And with time, he really tested me. He's going through a difficult path, and he really tested me. He's still testing me, but he is one of my biggest masters, because one thing that I realize is what I share is everything I share, I experience first. And I always believed that true love existed. And I was always made fun of because of that. People would tell me, you can't live only with in French, there's this saying that says you can only live with love and water. And so, as a child, I was used to ask why. Because for me, there was a reason. Yeah, it's true. True love exists. And then, slowly life, you go through, you learn, you teach. And it's not, what I understand today is that one of my reasons to be here is to share this energy of love by example, in a sense. And this is why I'm talking about this now, is because with the energy we're living, the shift in consciousness we're living right now, there is this belief in certain spiritual community that once you start becoming, I put brackets, enlightened or spiritual, like it's a beautiful path and you're sitting like this and life is still and beautiful. And this is not true. The more you open your heart, the more you feel. And this energy of love that I'm talking about holds everything, holds the difficult and the easy, holds the happiness and the sadness, holds everything. And I don't know if I make sense when I'm
No, you are. I get you, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who will look back on this live and will understand what you're saying. Because I believe that you have to love. You're going through the heart chakra, and like I had a experience where when I was told what I'm supposed to do in this particular lifetime, my heart felt free. It felt open. And with it being open, I was able to understand that I'm supposed to have a service to others, show
Yes.
love and devotion to humanity,
Mm-hmm.
and give back to humanity
Yeah.
in a way, and it flows through the heart. So I fully, and that is love,
Yeah.
and I fully like truly, I get it when you
Mm-hmm.
talk about how love is. There was a great movie, and I don't mean to quote The Fifth Element in sci-fi movies,
Yeah.
but the message was love conquers all. Like
Exactly.
that was the end all be all message of The Fifth Element, where that was the fifth element,
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
And love is very powerful. So I believe in what you are saying.
Yeah. And it's an energy. It's not like I love you or I don't love you. It is really a state of being in a sense. And this opened up to the fact that, you know, we were everything we were taught was inverted. Like we were taught to look outside for solutions, to you know, yeah. And there's no way, how do you say, there's no way out but through. And it's really through, the only place where we can act is within. It's in ourselves.
Correct. Because I always say the answers that you seek lie within. You don't
Exactly.
have to search for an outside source. Like you
Mhm.
like to mention, we're taught for God, for example, is an outside source. It's this deity that we're looking for,
Mhm.
but the answers lie within your higher self. You can connect. And
Yeah.
that's why meditation's very powerful, because it allows you to truthfully connect to thyself, get back
Exactly.
to source. And here, like, I feel as if Western culture does not get into practices like meditation, because
That's true.
we get caught up in the matrix. And what I say matrix is like what you were caught up in with. You were a banker, like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
this is what you did because, like, I know our parents are like, yeah, you got to go to college, you got to get a good
Exactly.
job. We try to serve, like, we try to serve others, but we don't serve ourselves first.
No.
But in
Exactly.
order to heal the world, you have to
Mm-hmm.
heal yourself first. You have to go within and heal yourself, and then you can branch that out. And I feel like that was your hero's journey in itself, where you went into thyself, and now you branched out, and now you're helping others. Like,
That's exactly. And with sickness or operations or whatever, the body, it's like for me it was, I was so far, it was such a, like a pulling away from who I really am, that the body was like, okay, giving you one little slap, two slaps, three slaps, and then really punching you in the face until you wake up. And today I always tell people, it's like, suffering is helpful, because that's when we go and look. When everything is fine, we don't go and look for, to change. When things are difficult, that's when we go and look. But it's not necessary. It's not necessary to get caught in wanting to. One of the message that was given to me after my the internal hemorrhage, it was like, let go of your story. Let go of the story of the Shireen that was born at that date, that lived this or that, and that suffered from this or that. Let go of that. Who are you? This is just experiences that are there to show me, who I am. And people we get to learn to get to know ourselves through other people, through other experiences. So yeah.
that's why I'm conducting these interviews, because I'm learning myself through
Exactly.
everyone who I've interviewed so
Yeah.
far. I've realized that you can connect to source in so many different ways, and you essentially had an ego death, and ego is edging God out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you become,
Exactly.
you're connected, Now,
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch on,
Mm-hmm.
because you do healing and whatnot, and I'm not as educated in Reiki and whatnot as you are, and I don't know how many of my following is educated as well. I have a basic understanding of it. I have an understanding of it, where I know that you touch with Reiki, you're healing the different etheric bodies, if I'm not correct, right? Like, there's different energy bodies, and you are like crystals, that energy and vibration kind of connects to that. And that is Reiki in a way of healing the bodies, the outer bodies, because it all trickles down to the physical body. Well, I'll let you.
No, yes and no. Reiki is an energetic healing by you impose your hands on the physical body of the person, but it is based on the idea that every problem comes from an energetic blockage and from not a good connection between the different bodies. So it will realign the different bodies, like the mental, emotional, physical, etherical, and then the higher bodies will align. Once you start working on the lower ones, then when I say lower, is like the physical body is the lowest vibration. Then you have the etherical body. Then emotional body vibrates faster, and the more you go in your aura, the more it vibrates faster. So there is a realignment, yes. And sorry.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Reiki is what I do today. I still continue teaching Reiki, but I don't. When I do my healing sessions, I call it energetic healing because I did many things. Reiki is the tool that opened the door for me to realize like what I had in my hands, and we all have it. We're all capable of doing Reiki, but of course there are people that are called to it and others no. But for me, it really opened the door to becoming the healer I'm supposed to be. I guess I would say it this way. And now it's like more energetic healing, and I just go with intuition. I still put my hands on people, but I really go with intuition, with what calls me.
So most of your clients, you have a location in Switzerland that they come to you, and you now, do you absorb their energy in a way? Because I think.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Reiki really taught me. Reiki, when you do Reiki, the interesting thing about Reiki is that you are a channel, and the energy goes through us, and you cannot manipulate the energy of Reiki, which means that, for example, if you come to me and I do it, you can do it directly, like one-to-one, and you can do it distance also. But if you come to me and you tell me my shoulder hurts, okay, I might not even put my hands on your shoulder. I might put it, but the energy of Reiki will go where it needs to go, because your shoulder might hurt because you're too tense, or because you have too much, you hold on too many emotions or whatever. So you cannot, like the people who do magnetism, it's called magnetism in English, I know, they will, I know there are different ways, but like if I speak in general, they will direct the energy at a certain place. With Reiki, no, you cannot manipulate Reiki's energy. So this for me at the beginning was very important, knowing that first of all, I can't hurt anyone because I don't come from a medical background. And second, I cannot manipulate. So the energy is going to go wherever it needs to go. And for me, what Reiki did to me, it did miracles in my life, because doctors were telling me that I would never get out of anorexia, bulimia, because it was chronic. I have absolutely no problem with that anymore. And everything, it really brought in my life. But mostly what it did is that it showed me that it is a tool. Reiki is a tool like any other tool. Meditation, yoga, acupuncture, whatever you call it. But it's a tool that made me realize that I am the tool. And that's what we all do. We go and search outside for things. We go and search help with like a Reiki healer, yoga, meditation, whatever. And then we take these tools and we become the tool. And this is what really Reiki taught me. So today, for example, yes, I continue teaching Reiki because it's a great tool to start, to like, if you're interested, to start and to have our hands go with us everywhere. And with Reiki, the difference between Reiki and magnetism is that you can do auto treatment with Reiki. So it's a good tool to start. But my motto, people who know me, I always tell them, trust yourself. Just go with what you feel, because one important thing also that that I realized is that the thing that used to make me sick before is I was trying to explain all the time to people what I felt, what I saw, how I saw it, and I was waiting for validation from outside. So when I first started with this Reiki path and going towards myself, I was constantly trying to do good, to do the right thing, until I realized that what I share is what I feel. And nobody can come and tell you that what you're feeling is not true. Our truth is in what we feel. And society told us, think, be reasonable, explain. No, because everything that we try to, that we explain is tinted with conditioning. We all are conditioned, but what you feel, you feel. So
Absolutely.
the day sorry?
No, I said absolutely. I'm agreeing.
So the day I started realizing, like, stop trying to do good, because this is one huge conditioning. Like, there's good and there's a right way of doing things and there's a wrong way of doing things. So the day I started realizing, like, okay, enough, because I started doing videos, for example, on Instagram, and first videos, I was like, oh my God, I'm saying too many, I look like this. And I was only judging myself. And is it good? And is it right what I'm saying and whatever? And then when I started realizing, I'm like, you are sharing what you feel. Nobody can come and tell you this is true or this is not true. And our truth lies in what we feel. And today, with the shift that we're going through with this upgrade in human evolution, the more people like you, like me, like Inara, like all these people that really share what makes them vibrate, their truth, and we connect like this. Because you're in the United States. Where are you?
I'm in the United States.
Okay.
I'm 20 minutes outside of Washington, D.C.
Okay, you're in the States, I'm in Switzerland, but it doesn't make a difference. It's like these links are starting to go like this, and it's like a new world. I put brackets, and this is what really motivates me. This is what really makes me wake up in the morning and be passionate about what I do.
I feel like this year was particularly for me one of those illuminating years where I am moving closer to what I feel is my calling, and that is connecting with people in a different, like, a lot, because I've always been one to, like, think outside the box, and I'm trying to get the world to think outside the box, to start seeing the inner light that dwells within them. So my project for this year was to help as many people, like, see if I can guide as many people to finding that inner light. And I think that these interviews, somebody's going to stumble across them and they're going to get a message out of it. And that's why I just said, I got to start doing these interviews. And I really enjoy doing this because I feel it here. I really feel it here when I interview people. I'm smiling. Like, my regular job right now is I'm a firefighter, EMT, but I know that in due time that I will be leaving that, because I feel that different calling as you felt back in 2008, right? Like, I'm feeling that. And this is what's making me happy. And I enjoy talking to people. And I've learned so much from you alone just in this span of 30 minutes,
No, and there's a shift really. This year it was the same for me. It's been several years, but this year it's like the quantum leap is huge. It's huge. And it's really, I find it passionate. It's really fascinating what's going on. So
yeah. And I actually want to touch more on your painting because I'm, like, drawn to it. Like, and I know that you said the visible becomes invisible.
No, the visible comes from the invisible. So there's the invisible is first.
So okay. And now when I look behind you, I see the sacred geometry, and I believe, is that the sun to the upper?
It's a bit, how do you say? It's a bit, I can't find the word. I have a blank. it's not exactly the sun or well, it's I forgot the name. How do you say abstract? It's a bit abstract art in the first layer. So yeah, it looks a bit like the sun and the universe. Definitely, there's a universe connotation to it. And then the center mandala is done by hand. Like there's no compass or anything. And then the one behind me, it's the Metatron cube. So this one I use the compass. But why exactly it's like this, I don't know. Because lately I'm getting light codes. I'm getting a lot of information through drawing, and don't always understand exactly what's coming in the first sense. But this one is first abstract. So yeah, it looks like the sun, but then it's not exactly the sun. I don't know. And then the rest.
I think the beauty to art is everyone can interpret art their own in their own way. And what is coming to my mind when I look at that photo is the creation of the universe, the creation of everything right now, where I see like the light that dwells within us, the higher being, like the universe creation with frequency, sounds, vibrations. I see the sacred geometry. And in the middle, like you said, it was drew with a compass. I'm seeing like that is God in a way. Like that behind you feels like it's a divine painting of some sort. And I feel that it's radiating its own energy. And that's why I'm really glad that you have that as a background, because it's really it draws me in. Like I just interpret it as like the Big Bang in a way. Like that's how the universe was created. So that's what came to mind with me.
There is a bit of that in my mind also, the way, but you're right. Everybody can interpret it the way they want. And what I like also, because I do also workshop, like this weekend, I'm giving a workshop on opening consciousness and explaining to people how we are multidimensional beings and everything I share. But this also helps me explain that what it made me understand, we are at the center of our world. And this point, it's like the focal point, is everything starts from there, from within. And we are at the center of our world. So there's not one word, there's not one truth. Like I see the world my way, you see your way. We can connect on certain things, but and like this helps me also bring people back to themselves, the beginning. And that's why I said it also talks to me like the beginning of life, the beginning of everything starts from like this little drop of God inside each of us.
Yeah, like that's it's a beautiful painting. Now, you touched on one of my favorite subjects, which is being a multidimensional being, because I feel we all are existing in different dimensions. It's a way of accessing it, and they're like, you look at like in ancient Kemet, they looked at how they manipulated matter to what they're doing over at CERN, actually, which is not too far from you, actually. Touch on that, to get into the quantum physics a little bit, where they're manipulating matter in a sense to where that matter can transport to different realms, different dimensions. And we all know that the universe is frequency and vibration. So when you vibrate at a higher frequency, or if you manipulate these atoms to get into these other dimensions, like I find that fascinating as well. So when you talk about, you said you have a workshop coming up. How can people attend? Like,
it's in Geneva, so and it's 1-to-1, and I mean most of the videos or the things I put on this account in Instagram are in French, but I teach also in English, and my sessions are in both languages when it's needed. But this workshop tomorrow is on how to I called it Activation 223. But it's not, I don't know why this name was given to me, but it's really to show people how everything that is confronting right now in their lives is there for them to go forward, for them to let go of certain things. We have a tendency of fighting, of resisting everything that hurts us. We have a tendency of, trying to find an excuse outside our world for things that are complicated for us. And it's the opposite. So this workshop is all about letting go of realizing that we are multidimensional being and that we are not all our suffering, that they are there. It's an experiment that we are doing to teach, to get to know who we really are. And when we let go of these resistance, then there is even more place inside of us to tap into this feeling of the energy of unconditional love.
So when I think of like the Akashic records, and I think of how we come into this planet and we come here for an experience to learn, for our soul to grow and learn through a 3D form or whatnot. Like, so the obstacles that we come across, like when you look at the bigger picture and you sit back and you realize, like, wait a minute, because of this obstacle, it led me to this point. Because of this failure, I am here now. So it's like we learn and we adapt and we overcome. And I'll use myself, for example. Like, I was taking the lieutenant's exam for the fire department, and I don't know how well I did, but I don't feel as if I did good on it. And while studying for it, I realized, like, I don't actually want this. Like, this is not what I want to do. Like, this is what I joined the fire department so I can take care of my son and have an opportunity, like, provide for my family. And I feel like that was what my mind was conditioned to thinking, that I had to find a career and take care of them, as opposed to following my passion and sticking to that and making that be what takes care of the family. And this is, I feel like a lot of people in this particular year, because I know Anora mentioned about solar flares happening, like how they came in and they're reprogramming our DNA in a way. They're activating our DNA to this, finding this light within us. Like, it's like I think it was in January, because this was around the same time I was feeling these emotions of change, where I'm like, I want to be better towards myself, and I want to give back, and I want to listen to other people's stories, because, like you said, like, you learn a lot through other people. And I've learned a tremendous lot about myself with these past interviews that I've done so far, and that's why I enjoy them. And I enjoy the knowledge that other people bring to the table, because we are all meant to continue to learn. Like, we aren't meant to, like, just plateau. I love learning. I love everything that you said, and I wish that I could actually attend your seminar, workshop. Yeah, like that. Like, if it was on Zoom, or anything, I definitely.
I'm working on starting to put certain things online. It's just that, like, I'm not very good at technology, so I'm looking for, like, I'm asking my kids and to help me with that. But eventually, it will happen.
So, how did you connect to, like, your audience? How did you channel with? Who's the audience that's attending? I guess that's what I'm asking. Like, how did you collect them? Like, how did they find you?
So it's through my clients, through some of them came to do Reiki with me, sessions, individual sessions, and like ear to ear, when people come. And so, because now it's been like since 2012, I would say, that I'm really independent and working with my clients, like one-to-one, and starting to grow, like, online a bit. So, but the last 2 years, like 3 years, started with this the virus. The last 3 years were really like it really went personally. I mean, like, as you say, the solar flare, the light codes, the information, the veils are lifting. And what you're describing, that the information you got at the beginning of this year and that you followed, this is what's asked from us. Because a lot of people get information, but people are afraid. We're conditioned. We believe that if we don't have a job, like a specific job, and that, like, a company pays our salary, we believe that we won't survive. And we all need money to live. but it's right what you're saying. The moment you open up, like for me, for example, at the beginning, when I started my practice, I was like, who am I to do this? And there's so many people doing energetic healing or painting. And I was really going, like making myself really smaller than I am, until I realized, I'm like, stop being afraid. Every time you try to do little jobs next to it, life brings you back to this. So try, jump, go. And it's true that it didn't flow, like abundance didn't flow right away. It went like this, but the minute I started having faith that I will get what I need, I know that, my higher self or God or whoever you want to call it, however you want to call it, will never let you down if you follow your path. If you listen to this thing that's vibrating inside, that's saying, go there, life will not let, God or whatever will not let you down. And when I started realizing that, sometimes I laugh, because sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like it's a bit calmer, or, if that, and just whenever I need, boop, it comes up.
Yeah.
So now I'm opening up to more abundance. I'm saying it. You can say it too.
It was a form of, you manifested this in a way where an inline thought creates your reality. Like, we're like computers. We can be programmed, and we can retrain our minds. Like, if you're familiar with coding, you can code something and you can change the structures, change the shape, and it becomes a reality in a different field, in a 2D field or whatnot.
Yeah, and one step further than what you're saying also is that at the beginning I thought, like when you say manifesting and the law of attraction, it's not it's not like, if I think I want to earn a lot of money, it's not going to happen the way I believe it might happen. It's like we manifest, but with our whole being. It's what we vibrate that comes to us. And like what I was saying about, for example, the workshop this weekend, is that when a door closes in your life, it's like life is telling you, don't go there, leave that door and look elsewhere. And this is also a way of manifesting. So it's what I realize now is that everything that comes to me for my highest good, no matter what it is. And sometimes it's difficult. It's really hard. Sometimes it's annoying, because we are human beings, and we like to know where we're going, and we don't like not knowing. But excuse me, but everything that happens for us to go where we're meant to go. And we don't know where we're meant to go.
Nope, we're just sitting back and enjoying the ride. And I think that when you feel like you have control of this journey, like that's when you're going to be disappointed, because you don't have control. We say like life throws a curveball at us, and that's when it's like, oh, why did this happen? Like, why did my house catch on fire? Why did such and such happen? My accident happen? Some things sometimes we need change. Like when you step back and look at it, you're like, okay, this happened for this reason. I look at the big picture now, and now I'm here because of this event happening in my life. And that's why I'm more of an acceptance phase right now, and grateful for whatever I have right now. I'm grateful for the people in my life, what I have right now. And I'm accepting the outcome of whatever happens. Like, because I feel where I'm supposed to be, and I'm just enjoying the journey to get there. And whatever comes in my way, I know that was supposed to happen. So I think being in a state of acceptance, you kind of just flow naturally with whatever outcome. And outcomes tend to be good when you are just open and trusting the universe and listening to the universe. And I think that's what I'm really trying to teach people, is how to listen to what the universe is trying to tell you. You can't really see it, but my
the
universe, like that is what I'm working on right now. Is I want the world to listen to their inner being, their inner self, and find it, because I feel like the world can be such a better a better place if we're all happy, because we're all happy when we're listening to
Definitely.
what our highest self is trying to tell us. Like,
Definitely. And you know what's funny is that when you realize, for example, when I see the amount of times we fight against what we're feeling, and or I hear certain people tell me, but you know, I'm living this, but it shouldn't be this way. And I'm like, but it is this way. So by you fighting against what is, you are losing more energy. You're going, it's true, it's unpleasant. It's true, it's not fun. You might cry, you might be angry, whatever it is. But by fighting it on top, like we're really getting, and that's what I did for years, that's why I can say it, but that's what made me sick, is that like things, no, it shouldn't be. No, if you go with the flow, yes, sometimes you're sad, yes, sometimes we're afraid, yes, sometimes we're angry, and in the same time it passes, because there is nothing that is permanent. Nothing.
so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do
Yeah.
believe I got it in notes, and I do want to dive into that, because you said you struggled with anorexia and bulimia, but you dove into yourself and you found how to overcome that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the question I'm asking is, what is it when you dove into yourself? What did yourself tell you? Like, this is what's blocking you. This is what needs to be free for you to overcome this.
It's a good question. Yeah. The anorexia and bulimia, I was always feeling that it was there to tell me something. But as I said that previously, I did not really understand what, until one day with Reiki, with the energetic healing, it really helped me to see that. I'm showing you this bottle of water. The food, anorexia and bulimia is a problem with food. Food is the cover, is the top of the iceberg. Okay. The problem is underneath. And the way that psychology or you know, I saw a lot of psychologists and everything, they focalize on the food issue. You eat, you don't eat, write what you eat, don't write what you eat. And already when you have a problem with anorexia, bulimia, I was obsessing with food all day long. So it's or you eat or you don't eat. The food is not the problem. What I saw, it's that what I needed to see is how far I was from myself. Like I was a person, most of the people that suffer mostly anorexia are very sensitive people, not because I want to give flowers to myself, but it's like in general, and quite intelligent and perfectionist. Okay. So the bar was here and it's unattainable. And because everything is inverted, society tells you, and I was convinced at a certain time that I was anorexic bulimic because I lived this when I was 5 years old, because I don't know who was like that, and all, you know, the because. There's no because. I realized that I came in this world with this, when I go in a room, I don't know how you say the word in English, that's why I'm explaining. When I go in a room, I have this radar. And if somebody is not doing well, automatically I would record that I had to do something for that person to be fine, whoever that person was. So in my family, it was all the time. I was taking on myself the happiness or unhappiness of the others. It's very difficult to live with that. So today I still have the radar. Today I still feel, you know, what's going on around me, but not to my expense anymore. And that was the shift for anorexia bulimia. I stopped looking at food. I started looking at everything. I started acknowledging everything I felt under the top of the iceberg.
And I asked that because I myself, like, I have where I wouldn't say I suffer from anorexia, but like food just does not, I don't eat. Like, and my weight fluctuates. Like, I can fluctuate between 10 to 15 pounds on the lower side. Like, and I can gain it back with no problem, but I don't eat a lot. Like, I'm like today, I didn't eat, but yeah, I noticed that you said we're perfectionists and we tend to be empaths. I don't know if that was the word you were looking at, where you feel the emotions of the room and you feel like you're constantly being judged, and you pick it all up and you just harbor it. Like, and I felt like especially growing up going to high school, you're like told, oh, you're too skinny, eat a sandwich and da 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 da. And I'm like, I am eating, I just don't care to eat. Like,
and that's different, because you, if I may, like when I feel you, there's a lot of light in you, and you're somebody who I guess came to earth with this light quotient. There's a lot of light in you, and the consciousness that have a lot of light, I put brackets, but you feed yourself with energy, with light. So for me, it's not a question of anorexia in your case. It's just, well, you're not interested in eating, but whenever your body needs, you give it to your body.
Right. That's what I do. Like, exactly. I think I listen to my body, because like I've never been a fan of alcohol.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of meat. Like, I've never been a big meat eater. I was naturally one that rejected all these things that quote unquote like keep us in a lower realm.
Yeah.
And I look back at that now and I'm like, wait a minute, I never liked the milk from the grocery store. I never liked any form like meat. Don't get me wrong, I will eat, but it's just
you don't
like stay alive, I guess. But I love fruits from the jump. I love the healthy stuff that normal people would be like, oh. But I think that was my body's natural way of saying, like, this is what keeps you pure. Because as a kid, you're very close to the divine. You're very close to source. And we get conditioned into, you have to drink milk. You have to eat this. You have to do this, as opposed to just letting someone flow with what makes them great.
Exactly. And for me, this is how you are. When I speak about my years of anorexia, bulimia, I was not listening at all. I could not even describe. I didn't know what being hungry or not hungry anymore meant. It was totally like cut from, the rest of the body. So it's today, for example, and I never thought it would have been possible for me, but today, for example, I listen to my body and I feed what it wants. I feed it what it wants. Where before, no, it was decided. If I decided that I had to eat one, I don't know, tomato and one apple a day, the minute I would eat a piece of cheese next to it, that was it. It would go into a binge eating. So, but for you, I feel there's a lot of light in your body. So you're feeding yourself exactly how you need.
Yeah. And I'm big into listening to my body. My girlfriend and I, she always says, listen to your body. If you're feeling tired, go to sleep. Like, if you're feeling if you feel like, oh, I have to accomplish this, I have to accomplish that, but you're tired, you just got to listen to your body. Your body needs rest. Like, there's times when I know I have to go to work, like I work two jobs, but one of them, like, they're both physically demanding, but if my body is too exhausted from the last job, I can't make it in today. Plain and simple. Like, I'm tired. I need rest. I need to recover, and I'm going to listen to my body. And I think that's what I've been doing this year. It's not just listening to the universe. I'm listening to my body, mind, and soul. Like, I'm listening to what my inner self wants and my outer self wants.
And it's extremely important. I mean, this is a gift, because today the part of ourselves that is going through the huge transformation is our physical body. Like the upgrades, the DNA, the cells, and it's in this physical body. And I feel very weird things every once in a while. Like we're starting to feel that we are energetic beings. So being anchored, listening to what's happening in the physical body is essential. Because if we don't do that right now, we're really rattled. This 2023, will be rattled, really. But if we're not listening to the body, it's going to be worse.
Yes, and you said it earlier, how we are starting to shift, because I feel in my heart that we were a lot more advanced spiritually and technological wise eons ago, and we've regressed, and now we're getting back to that, and it's taken a millennium almost, but we're this is slow progress, but I feel like we are now starting to align, like-minded individuals like myself and you. We're all starting to connect. We're all starting to like shift and help
Definitely.
others, like, and that's what you are doing. And
Mm.
I just want to say I've taken an hour of your time, and I thank you for
I
this.
thank you.
And I don't want to hold you up too more. I know that
No,
it's about, you said till 5 or whatnot. So
yeah.
thank you for this
Thank,
interview.
thank
Like,
you to you. It's a real pleasure. Thank you. It
I,
was a
I
pleasure to connect with you.
yeah, I really enjoyed this. I've learned a lot from you, and I always take notes even after the interview. And I love that you allowed me to do it live, because there's always someone that's going to stumble across this and hear this message. And I love how the lives stay that on the page, because
Yeah,
I'll send you the link, but we can
exactly.
always go back and
Yeah,
listen and
yeah,
just take notes. Like, and
exactly.
because you're not, I feel like these interviews are like food. Like, you have to slowly digest it. You can't
Mm,
eat food all at once and
mm,
digest it. It's not going to digest properly.
no,
So
yeah,
sometimes you have to go back and listen. And that's what I do. Even weeks from now, or even a
yeah,
year from now, I will go back and listen to these particular interviews and pick up something else. Like,
yeah.
it's like
And
watching.
it's I agree with you. And it's like activations. It's like all of a sudden, there's like aha moments that you're listening to something. It like it triggers you, but it's not really integrated. And then like a few weeks later, all of a sudden it's like these aha moments, and it's
Right.
like activations. Yeah.
Yes. So
Mm,
yeah, that's why I'm always grateful for
me too. Me
those
too.
who come on, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy
Thank,
day to
thank you.
uh
Really, it's a pleasure. Thank you. It's an honor and really a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing wherever you're gonna continue interviewing and going, and wherever all this energy and this shift is gonna bring us, where it's gonna bring us. But it's quite miraculous, I think, what's happening right now.
yep, I'm just enjoying the ride, honestly. I'm
Me
just
too.
grateful for where I'm at, and I'm just enjoying the journey, and wherever life takes me, I'm just going to follow it, and I'm going to listen to everything that
Thanks.
presenting itself. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day,
You
and
too. You
I hope
too.
your meeting is. I know I'm not hoping. I know your meeting will be successful, and I'm looking forward to when I will be able to see them online, because I would love to attend them and listen even more to you.
I'll let you know whenever it's ready.
Please do.
Take care. Thank you.